Okay, Dave and Joanne, good afternoon. It's Sunday afternoon. I'm just doing a walk around the property for you. This will probably be about a 20-minute video because I want to go through everything we did at the house here. Obviously, you can see the gates are done. This gate and the one over here and the one on the other side of the house were particularly in bad shape. I mean, to be honest, we sanded as best we could on these. They look good. I mean, they look clean. They've got a coat of primer and 2 coats of Rust-Oleum oil-based rust retardant paint on them, so they'll never rust again. Same with the my tools. You have to forgive that up there. Same with the rails over here. By the way, I tried to take that hose bib off. It leaked really bad. But these are so delicate that when I tried to start wrenching that off, even though I had a wrench on these, it was wanting to twist these pipes, and I was afraid it was going to snap them. They're very old. You also had a leak under here we had to dig up and fix because I capped all these off and just pressure tested it, and it created a big lake over here. So we fixed that, and I did fix this by taking this whole assembly off and putting a new washer down in there. So that worked good. But you can see how the front gates look good. They're clean and painted. We took this tree back considerably, down away from the view of the door. This will grow. Don't be perplexed by how much we took off, but trust me, this will grow like mad come springtime. We cut this one back a bit. It was hanging over the bricks. This one here, we got green growth. So this one we were able to keep alive. Just got to water it continually, and that tree will survive. This one here I'm not sure of, but you do have saplings that are growing that will eventually become this down here. I haven't been able to get anything to grow on this, and I've watered the heck out of it, so this is a dead tree. I was going to give it another couple of days and see what it looks like, but I can take that thing down when the time comes. I took this stump down and hauled it away. Need to know what you want me to do with it. I can get a guy out here probably for around $100 to grind that down below the ground, but I'm not sure it'll get all the roots out that need to come out. These roots probably go in all directions, so we'll have to talk about that. But the front of the house looks good. We did some touch-up painting on the fascia where it needed it, just here and there. And on the house too, there were some places where bare brick was showing. So anyway, you'll see when I get I have to get some paint on that. That doesn't look good. I got all the lights on because I wanted to show you what I did, so we'll get to that, okay? But let me walk around to the backyard. You can see how clean this all is. I'm going to send you pictures. You can see how much debris was on this property. It was a mess. So we cleaned this thoroughly. You can see everything clean here is. It's clean here. I can take a weed whacker if you want and make that a little lower. But we cleaned all. This was a mess. There was just debris and stuff everywhere in those. I mean, if I had more of a budget, I would have made that look like $1 million, but that's a 2 or 3 hour project. Here, it took me, and I'll show you the pictures later why. It took me a half hour just to clean this thing out. It was full of bricks and old materials and just stuff on the shelves. Had cobwebs everywhere, spider webs. So we cleaned this out thoroughly. That would have been a trigger for the Section 8 inspection. There's another gate. You can see how nice this looks. And it looks that way from both sides. It looks really nice. Yeah, that looks real good. And stepping over here, there's a spot or two I just saw when I walked it before I started making this video that we missed. So I'll get that right now. But you can see these were all rust. Every bit of this was rust. The ceiling, you can see how nice this looks here. All this here. And the ceiling, how nice that looks. The ceiling came out great. Again, I ran out of budget and man hours. I didn't want to take you too high, but We could have spent a couple hours on this wood part and made it look real nice. But it looks all right, you know. I just had to stay, once I factored my materials and labor on this job, I'm making, right now I'm at about $500 profit for a week and a half here. I just can't put any more money into it in terms of time and materials. But you can see how good this looks. It just all looks really nice. And I not only did the rails, I did the fronts of this, which were all rusty. All the way down. And especially what looks good that was all rusty is this gutter. Look how nice the gutter looks. We sprayed it. Looks really good. Another spot I sprayed. This looked terrible. That whole rail going up was rusty. Completely rusty. I mean, the whole thing was solid rust. And if you look closely at this, you can see that it needed more prep. But like I said, I normally on a job like this would have charged a couple, $200-300 to come out and sandblast all this first because it was so bad. But I just did the best we could with wire wheels and sandpaper to get off the flaking stuff. And I also painted the top of this. Looked awful. The top of this basically looked like that. I mean, this didn't look good. So I made that look nice too. Going further, we did all the windows. Most of them. George, I'm noticing George missed that one. All of them got done inside. We didn't do all the outside ones. Just the ones that really needed it bad. If you want me to do them all, let me know. But we got the place looking good. So let me go around to the front door and go through the house and show you what we did there. I'll pause this so you don't have to walk with me. Going into the house, you got a new bulb there. Going into the first room. See how bright it is in here now? That thing had like really low voltage. I put some LEDs in there. It cost me $12 just to buy those, but this room needed to be lit up. And we also had to put a new switch in this. You had to shut this thing off, the light, by turning the light bulbs. So the switch this connects to, and I'll get a low hanging one like this. I'll put it on. I've got one. I just forgot to bring it. This is a new switch that allows the lights to work. Let's see, going into the bathrooms, we put a carbon monoxide detector here and then 5 of the cheapies in around the house. We cleaned up the place here as best we could. I mean, the faucets are old, they're showing signs of wear, and we tried like hell to scrub this out with CLR rust remover, and we just wouldn't come out. Also, I'm not happy with the shower, but again, it came down to just not having the time to. What I would do if I had the budget to do so, would be to take all this old, somebody used caulk instead of grout, or a silicone, so it's browned through the years, and you can see the grout itself. It needs to be scrubbed with some acid. It'd take a couple hours more to get the shower tile looking like brand new, but I could do it. Just one of those things. This is where the big damage was, behind the toilet. You can see we fixed that. Looks good. Remember that big damage spot, the big wet spot? And over here too, I just had to caulk in that part of the baseboard. But that was done. I rehung that fan. Now listen, the motors I put in both these fans to save you from having to spend $120 on new motors that go with these are a little bit larger inside. That's why you see a slight gap up there. I don't want you to think that's carelessness on our part. It's like that in both bathrooms. New light bulbs there, put your diffuser up. Both bathrooms, let me show you, have the same issue. This fan actually went out while we were working on the house, so I went and bought another one. It's a brand new fan inside there, fan motor. And you can see again, because of the size, it hangs a little bit, the cover from the ceiling. There's no way around that. We can caulk it in, but then if they ever go to, tinker with it, then they're going to have to deal with all that. So we didn't mess with that too much. We did some drywall repair. You had a towel bar here. You didn't really need one here, so I took it out and filled the holes and painted it. It was a bad old bar. It was rusty. It didn't look good. Put a new shower head in there because it's working. But again, some of this stuff, this hardware, looks a little aged. I can replace it if you ask me to. I will. If I had any spare stuff with me, I would. But this shower's clean, it looks good, it's presentable. This toilet is clean, it needs wiped down again. They've obviously been using it. But the bathroom is good. We replaced about a half dozen switch and plug covers. This room got the treatment. You see this fan. Yeah, I got to put 2 more light bulbs in here. I got some with me that I'll use. See, this one's going. It's either the bulb's going or the fan's going. I'm not sure, but it works for now. Closet has a pull chain. I guess I could maybe have them take a little bit of flat paint and hit that one shelf. Doesn't look too good, but the rest of it looks okay. There's one of your smoke detectors. Let me shut this fan light off. Oh, I see. When you pull it once, it turns 2 lights on. When you pull it again, it turns the other 2 on. When you pull it a 3rd time, it turns them all on. So there you go. I had that wrong. So anyhow, I have a filter on order for this. This actually isn't a 16 by 30. It's a 15 by 32. So I won't get that for 3 or 4 days, but for the time being, I took a 16 by 30 and kind of made it work in there in case, so you don't get any funky stuff going into your air conditioning coils or your heater coils. This room got new lights. Closet looks good in here. Let's see. Let me see what else. Oh yeah, put another shower head on that too, over there. And one thing I did, I want you to notice, is I labeled everything. Front porch, plug below, so they know that that switch operates that plug. We painted, just to tell you while I'm standing here, we had initially decided to paint about a half dozen walls in the baseboard real needed. We ended up basically painting the whole house. I mean, you might walk around and find a spot somewhere on a baseboard that maybe could have got hit with paint. I don't think you'd find too many areas like that. We tried to do a pretty thorough job. In the original walkthrough, painting this room wasn't even part of the bargain. And we did. We painted this room too. It hit spots over here that needed it. We didn't paint that entire wall. This in here was a mess. I cleaned all this up and got rid of all the debris on the carpet. There was a small garbage bag full of debris in this room. We labeled, well, let me go back to this room. We fixed a leak underneath there. Let's see, we put a new fan in here. That's a new fan. We put some slats in some places. I think this might be the one George said last night was broke. I'll find out. I might have to come over here tomorrow and put a new blind there. I'll let you know on that. I just noticed that. And then this light switch here, I don't know what it operates. This one over here operates the back floodlights, which are on now. But I'll turn them off. I just had them on for the sake of showing you. Anyhow, we had, originally it was 9, it turned out to be 11 plugs. All of the ones in here, except for one, had an open ground. So they all test good now. We took this plug off and made it a junction box because it had real issues. And it would have cost you a lot of money to run a wire from here to the circuit panel. So we figured we just wire nut all the wires together in there that needed to be and then leave it like that. Also, when we got the gas turned on, we noticed gas smell in the house. Not real bad. I sprayed some dish soap on this valve and it was bad, so I replaced it. I sprayed some soap on this valve and it was bubbling a little bit. Not bad, but bubbling gas out. So I replaced that one too. They were bubbling, not in the connection, but like in the old ones up here, out of here. They were metal up top and they were just bubbling out. So I wanted to show you that. We cleaned everything, everything's spotless. We cleaned the stove. I'll put this back. I just had it out to show you. The stove, you remember how big a mess it was. We cleaned that up inside, and look at outside. Inside, it looks like brand new. So we cleaned that up. Fridge is good to go. Probably have to wipe this down once more. They've been using it. Dishwasher is good to go. Cleaned all the fans. We didn't do this crack. They said you wanted me not to, so I didn't. That crack in the ceiling. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. I put a new doorknob on here. The old one was broken, and I bought 2 of these to put on this and the other door in the other room. So this isn't from us, but this has bad gouges in it. I guess they can live with that, whoever rents the place. I put all the old touch-up paints down here. Let me see what I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, I wanted to go through and show you. One of the things, this is Section 8, I've been through enough of these to know. They would have bitched about every light that didn't work here. Every light needed to work. So I bought a chain light here. I bought a pull chain light here. And I bought a pull chain light for the other closet. And this was a constant hot. Well, one of these was a constant hot. And we wired it differently. Oh no, it's got a pull chain on it. I don't know why the extension is for that. I'll have to get one. But I turned that since it was a constant hot, it wouldn't go off. I made it a pull chain light. So you got 3 pull chain lights. You got one in the other closet too. One of the bedroom closets. And let me see what else. I labeled everything across this wall. Don't know if this switch operates. But this one here says above laundry, sink, and shop light. So when I turn this on, that light comes on, and the shop light comes on. For this area. Even though it's got a second light, that's a pull chain light. Like I said, they all have to work for Section 8. This switch turns the other light in there on, see? So that's labeled as such. I labeled this garage door opener switch must stay on. This is that. I labeled this garage door opener. I labeled this one inside garage light. You'll see when I turn that on what happens in the garage. See, watch. It's off in there, on in there. You can't see it real good here. I can show you from this way. See? Off and on. So that labels that. Opening the garage door. This floodlight is on. Up here you've got a label, floodlights. I can shut them off, see? Now when they're on at night, they'll go off and go into motion sensor mode and only come on and off when somebody walks in front of them. That's how they're set up. So, and I put new bright LEDs in these, so it lights up the front of the house correctly in both these, this one and this one. That switch is by the front door. One thing I did not do, I wasn't asked to do, is deal with the doorbell issues. Neither one of these work. You have to tell me if you want me to put some kind of wireless doorbell in there. But I painted this wall here. It was bad, and that, you know, all the way down there. Didn't paint anything else in the garage. Put light bulbs. Almost every light bulb in the house got changed. Not everyone, but almost everyone. So, walking back out, I wanted to make sure you understand, and I've got pictures of all of it, how much debris we actually took to the dump from this place. We emptied this room. You remember all the furniture in here. There was debris there. There was debris over here. Is this thing still running? Okay. There was debris all along here, bricks and big rocks and half bricks. It was a mess. So we got rid of all the debris here on the property. And of course, you know, there's a big pile of debris here. So you asked us to get rid of yesterday. So anyhow, I guess I'll add to this if I figure out anything else I forgot. But basically, that's what we did here. We spent a while getting this place right. So I'm going to pause this for now and come back to it if I find anything else I forgot to tell you about. One thing I did forget, Dave, is your vents that we soaked in CLR and repainted. They all look good. They look bright and crisp. They're not new by any stretch, but they're okay. Forgot to mention, Dave, there's another thing we did here. See if I can get the focus. These were all filled inside your medicine cabinets here. These both bathrooms, they were filled with rust. So we sanded them down real good and painted those oil-based paint too. So they look good. Also, that's a new GFI that was shot. We'll add that to the list. We got these plugs labeled as well, kitchen and dining, so they know which ones to turn on. Pull chain light in the first bedroom closet still wasn't working, even after I hooked up a new porcelain pull chain light, which I dropped, as you can see, while I was working on it. Shattered it in a million pieces, so I just went and got another one. I got to figure out the wiring on this real quick. It was working the other day. So anyway, what a mess. I'll keep you posted. Okay, so we have light in this closet. It was working the other day, but there was a wire coming loose off one of the commons up there. So sometimes it was working, sometimes it's not. I fixed it, so there you go. Lastly, I just got to say before I close out this video, there was a lot of detail work in this house I wish I had time to do. I did some of it, but there's no way I could get to all of it, such as like this tub we already talked about. I'd have to go spend $9 on a tube of grout caulk. Maybe I should, to get in front of this tub. It's missing. All the old grout has cracked out because whoever put the tile in should have known better than to use grout caulk. Or use regular grout, it's going to chip out. I do have some door stops I can put on with me. I can either go get some brass ones tomorrow, or I've got satin nickel ones that I can use. You need about 10 of them. They're all, well, some of the doors have, well, I'm not going to go through the count with you watching, but I'll count through. But some of the other things I was noticing, you know, this shower enclosure, you know, all this down here, oh, that's a mess, you know, but that's an hour's work to sand all that off, refloat it, and repaint it, and get all that looking good, get all that caulk off the floor. And then you can see all of it on here. Somebody used caulking instead of silicone, and it's all blacked out. And then this metal here is just old. It's got water spots on it. We've wiped it off, but it just looks old. You know what I mean? So I don't want you to think we didn't try and clean this stuff. This is what we got after we cleaned it. It just is what it is, you know. Even the faucets have some signs I noticed in the other bathroom. Well, this one here Doesn't have the pull thing on it, isn't working properly. This is rusted as well. Neither one of these things have sink stoppers. You're going to have to let me know if you want me to go spend for those about 10 bucks each. And I'll have to get up underneath there and, you know, hook them up. This faucet here looks awful, look. And this is after it's been cleaned. It's just old and got water spots on it. Same with this stuff in here. If you look closely, you know, we've wiped this stuff even with CLR, but it's just old stuff. So I didn't want you to walk through the house and have the impression that, you know, we didn't do our due diligence here. We tried to make everything look as good as we can, given the budget we had to work with. So I could spend another whole day here doing detail work. There was another spot I noticed back here. I would love to have had the time and the budget to be able to dig into some of this stuff, you know. This here looks completely awful, all the way down, and then this piece of baseboard needs to be cut up and around this threshold to make it look good. That's another hour project, you know, to get all that straightened out. So like I said, there's a lot of detail work we could have done here. I just ran out of time and money, Dave. I'm at the end of the rope with time I can spend at this house, because I know you're trying to keep the numbers low. So there's detail work like that all over the place. You know, it's an old house. So I just wanted to kind of get that in your remembrance, and ask you about a doorbell too. Do you want me to put a doorbell in, and do you want me to buy a 70-inch rail for that back bedroom? It is broken. I just noticed that today. It works when you turn it one way, and it doesn't work when you turn it the other way, so you have to let me know on that. Oh yeah, I got to come in here and clean up my mess. That's where I dropped that other porcelain light. So anyhow, okay, I'll get this off to you. I don't think I'll have anything else to add to it. I'll see you later. Just wanted to show you how well your house is lit up at night. Looks nice out here. Actually, looking at this more closely, I probably should buy a tube of white grout caulk. Look at this. That's going to cause problems in your drywall behind the shower. So I will take care of that tomorrow. I did put a new chain on this for the light, and the one in the kitchen.